Peter, let me ask you about Maximilian
Mm.
Verstappen since you mentioned him. Again, I felt a lot of Max Verstappen naysayers took this opportunity to hurl stones at Max. He's a fast car merchant. Now that Adrian Newey's gone, he can't drive the car. The inertia valve doesn't allow him to turn in. And now Max Verstappen all of a sudden becomes an average, also ran type of driver. To that, Mr. Windsor, you say what?
I thought his performance in Hungary was 100% professional. I'm amazed that he actually got the car to the finish. I thought he was going to, get involved in some sort of first corner scrap and be on the first helicopter out of there. But no, he was totally professional. As much as that race would have been unbelievably boring and annoying for him, I thought he drove beautifully. I mean, how many people did he pass in the first 6 laps of the race? About 4, I think. Then he got Lewis going through the quick kink. And I would say any other driver that actually pulled off a pass in Hungary that wasn't in DRS condition? Don't think so.
Hmm.
And Max had at least 4 passes, none of them with the help of DRS. Unbelievable. I mean, anybody not seeing that's got their eyes shut because he was just amazing. Of course, lap 5, he's behind Bortoleto. The front tires went off the cliff, and that was that. That was it for the day. But we saw how good Max is just on that. And also, look at the difference between him and Tsunoda. I mean, Tsunoda's not that slow. He's not bad. I mean, on a quick lap, he's probably as quick as, I don't know, Perez probably, and who other? Let's think of another one. He's probably Nico Hulkenbergish, I would think.
Hmm.
And Max is just blowing him away like you wouldn't believe. So there's your yardstick. I mean, if he was getting beaten by Yuki and he was scratching to be more than a tenth ahead of him, I think you could possibly say Max has completely lost interest. The car's hopeless. He's not trying, but he's out there on the absolute limit all the time. I thought he drove beautifully. It was a joy to watch him as well around that circuit. And as I often said, I love watching great drivers in bad cars and bad situations because that's when you really see their true colours. A, how well they drive, and B, how their character is. And I thought Max came out of that absolutely 100%.
And if we're going to play devil's advocate, Peter, he hasn't been bad this season. Today, outperforming the ostensibly quicker MCL39 at the British Grand Prix in quali, same thing Suzuka, similar thing Saudi Arabia. I mean, if we want to ignore those, then maybe we can have the Max Verstappen is an average driver conversation. But if you're paying attention to the most recent past, then how can you discount those?
Japanese Grand Prix, please advise.
Yeah.
On the planet.
No further questions, Your Honour.
Yeah,
go on then, Peter. What happens next at Red Bull, though? Because I'm reading this morning that there's a lot of personnel potentially leaving that they had written within their good God tier personnel at Red Bull Milton Keynes, that they had written within their contract almost a Helmut Marko-esque clause that if Christian Horner leaves, that they too can null and void their contract. What happens next with Red Bull? Because I mean, Max is committed to 2026, but shortly thereafter, I mean, if he chooses to go to pastures anew, can we even call that team Red Bull? It's complete. It wouldn't even. It bears no resemblance to the Christian Horner Red Bull of 2010 through 2024 now.
Yeah, I think you see quite a lot of changes over the August break. I understand quite a lot of people are going to be leaving Alpine as well. I was just thinking, actually, the irony of the whole situation and how Christian Horner did nothing to stop Jonathan Wheatley leaving to go to a team that everybody thought was at the back of the grid and wasn't going to do anything. And we see how good Jonathan Wheatley is as a pure English style racer with a real feel for the pit lane and how to work the mechanics and how to get the team to perform in the right way. And it's happened in the space of 6 months, less, 5 months at Sauber. Just a brilliant job. And of course, the reality is, if Christian had done a better job looking after Jonathan Wheatley, and now Christian's left, Jonathan Wheatley would probably be team principal of Red Bull, and it'd be a much better team. It'd be better than it was in the Christian Horner days. And most of these people you've talked about would probably be staying on saying, oh, yeah, JW's there, mega. Oh, look at that. I mean, isn't that an irony?
Yeah.
But he's not there. And now it's this whole new world of sort of unknowns, and Lauren Mekies, who seems to have done a pretty good job. But is he a Jonathan Wheatley? Is he a real racer in the way a Jonathan Wheatley is? He worked for the FIA for 2 years. So they might be saying, this is not me. He can't be a Jonathan Wheatley. There was probably a moment when Jonathan was shouting at Laurent Mekies, actually trying to get what he wanted in the pit lane for the team. So that's a real irony. Imagine if Red Bull now had Jonathan running it. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Be very good. But it's not happening, and it's Laurent Mekies, and he will think, well, I got, well, I don't know what he'll think actually. I mean, he obviously did a good job at Racing Bull, sort of tying it all together and moving forward with good people, and he hired Alan Permain, good guy, and a few other very good people. And Jonathan Edels is there. He's been there for a long time now, but very good engineer. So he will be thinking, well, I can do that. I did that there. I'll kind of do it at Red Bull. But it's not the same. He's a Frenchman, right? Frenchman in England. People don't really know him. And to get the personnel, if he is going to lose some key personnel now, won't be easy for him. So, yeah, difficult times, but nothing's impossible in the way that Racing Bulls actually have moved up the grid. Nothing is impossible. You can put good people together. The way Jonathan Wheatley has moved Sauber up the grid, nothing's impossible. So Red Bull could put together a really good new package of key people and move up and do a good job and start getting some good results again. Back end of this year. Difficult to imagine. I guess they might.
Oh, Mr. Windsor, let me ask you very quickly about the Max.
Sorry, but let me just. And don't forget, the Red Bull is still very good on fast corners, as we saw in Hungary, even through the right-hander turn 11, where the only 3 drivers that I ever saw all weekend going through there without braking were the 2 McLaren drivers and Max. And Max was quickest there in qualifying in turn 11. Unbelievably good. So any circuit coming up where there's more than 1 or 2 quick corners, Red Bull won't be that bad. Max will have half a chance. But it'll be all a change of direction and the slow speed stuff that'll be the problem, I suspect.
I don't know what's going on at Red Bull, Peter. It's not good, though. He can't turn the car. He's got the -5 brake bias in it. And again, as Max in it, the car won't fudging to... I just...
Well, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is a driver like Max, driver like Charles, obviously Lewis is not going to be able to drive unless they've got a front end. I've often said that, and whether you describe that as saying he likes oversteer or whether a guy who's that good, that sensitive and that supple, of course, needs the front end in order to do what he wants to do. However you describe it, the bottom line is if you don't have a decent front end, you're never going to see a quick lap time from a car, any racing car, really.